Welcome to Gaza Media. I'm now speaking in the capacity as an anchor, not as a graduate. But we'll have the CEO here, CEO of Lebialem USA, Mr. Pascal, all the way from Arizona to cheer my graduation up. So in every opportunity, we'll take an advantage and discuss some other community development event because I'm a product of grammar school. I'm a proud Lebialem and happen to be sitting here with the CEO and other fellow classmates who are also from Lebialem, born and bred. So, Mr. CEO, I want us to talk a little bit about the convention coming on. Is it on the 31st of May? That's a month from now. 31st and 1st. And this is, we are talking about Lebialem Paradise 2050. And I believe that I may be wrong. Grammar School, GHS Fontaine, which is the pinnacle of education in Lebialem, based on the number of graduates and of all the potential, all the skill, work of life that they are today. We will say down to that school, and they are Lebialem people. What would be the role of Grammar School? Lebialem Development Paradise 2050. The role of GHS Fontaine. Any person, the president of the members, if you have no contribution, go ahead. No, the role of grammar school in general. This is just conversation.
Dr. Kumar, Director, thank you so much for creating this opportunity. This is the immediate aftermath of your graduation. Under normal circumstances, everybody will be tired. And you see people are preparing to leave, but you kind of pull everyone together for us to talk about this and specifically talk about the role of grammar school in the development of the Lebialem. We want to, first of all, speak more to the role that we can play as an individual. When you grow up as a child, you start as a baby and you start benefiting from the community. The community brings you up, and then you get to a certain age where you become productive and you can give into that community. And I think individually, if you look at us, we are almost around the same age. Meaning that we had benefited as kids and we are the age that we can give to the community. And if you fail to give to the community, then by the time we realize we will be at the position where we'll take out of the community, that is when we are getting to old age. So I am so privileged that I came to the helm of Lebialem USA when 89-90 batch is one of the most vibrant batch of grammar school. And we have some very, very dynamic individuals, beginning with you, Director. When they talk about stuff that they have done in the Lebialem, this is just a coincidence, just like yesterday. Nobody can articulate your importance to the community more than the CEO of Lekudo, and then you've just asked me to talk, and I can't even say a few words without him coming to come and say it. The way nature works.
You and I too. You only talk about it directly.
Yeah. So I just want to say there are certain times that when you find yourself at a particular position to do certain things, nature aligns things up for you. I am at the helm of Lebialem USA. At the same time, a very good friend is with Lekudo. At the same time, my very good friend is managing the media. So I might not be the best CEO Lebialem USA has ever had, but because of what I have, because of the projection that my friends and the people I have, they can put me out there to be the best, even if I'm not, just because if you have goal I don't have a way of putting it out there, the gold can end up in your pocket and nobody will even know. So I really appreciate this opportunity, and
yes.
I know the reason you are bringing this up is really
no,
to shine
actually,
the light.
Yes. Yeah, I just want us like, I don't want it to be too formal, so that people can even be eating. People can come in and go out and go do anything. It should be a very relaxed conversation on how to develop Lebialem. Like before you came in, what would be the role of grammar school student fostering development in Lebialem? Yes, so these are all grammar school students. There's no stranger here. Even Martin who is sharing water is also a product of grammar school. All the women here, they are product of grammar school. Apart from Uncle Nick, my uncle sitting there, even though he's a product of student of Slowdom, but it was privileged that he left before grammar school started. But now the question again is, what would be the role of us, students of grammar school? Ben, if you have any contribution that you think that we can share, say it. So that just say what you think.
I think why Mr. Julius is eating, let him eat out. Let me take a bite of that, because I think this is something that I'm very passionate about. First of all, grammar school, it's in Menji, and I come from Menji. But the other important thing is that the president of Legda, we all live in Menji, the same cartier. People might not know this. So he's a neighbor. We've known each other for a long time. But in terms of Legda, grammar school was GBHS Fontaine, which was GSS Fontaine in those days, was the mother school, right? So Legda really also has that responsibility to say, this mother school that from, it is from grammar school that most of the other, schools were created. We cannot leave that legacy, just lay fallow like that. Something needs to be done. But then let's pivot to Gaza 8990, because as I always tell people, there is no way you cannot have a base. Every project must have some drivers. And we know that there is FESA, which is the Grammar School General Association. But again, we know they are a little weak. We have to be honest. If you are honest with things, you easily see clear about what needs to be done. So they're a little weak, but I think Gaza 8990 that has taken the lead in so many things. People donated money, cleared the school initially before, So I think there has to be a formula, Mr. CEO.
Yes, I think thank you for bringing that up. I'm glad that the vice president is here.
Okay, you see.
The president of Gaza 8990 is here.
Yeah.
So I will throw this question back to them. I want them to be eating no, you can be eating and talking. By saying let me finish eating, you can still say something.
Yeah, I know.
Mr.
Go
Joe
to the vice president.
What will be the role of grammar school in the Lebialem paradise? I'm still hammering on this question. What can we do individually? Mr. Chrysanthus, you were the financial side. It's very instrumental. That can be which we cannot say it is the bedrock of the grammar school student. What would be the role of us, the 9 batch, in fostering development in Lebialem, especially the agenda, the Lebialem Paradise 2050?
Yeah, but I think before you answer that question, let me say this. If you look at Citowism, we actually have Citowism going on now at a different location. If you look at how we approach it, it did not start by being Suez Citowism excellent. You had a few people, who came down and worked on this, and then everyone else followed. So the point I'm trying to lay as a groundwork is that Gaza is well placed.
The 9 batch, yes.
The 9 batch is placed to initiate these things and then co-op.
That's why I've got your point. I want that they should understand it then and respond to that.
Don't be scared, don't be worried about it. People want a solution.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because Joe, prior to being present here, you have coordinated activities. I mean, you have organized a successful convention in 2023 in Pakistan, the Grand West. Everybody saw it. We sat here, we saw what happened, what transpired, the fundraising, the amount of water you pull to that location. So I think what the conversation is changing in the direction that can we as a batch use that momentum to pull other batches, and when you start doing some serious project in the BLM, I know we have done provided didactic equipment or doing some very concrete solid project. You can use that to pull some other people now to join that project, and you become now the pilot or the main champion. Santos,
Yes,
let me respond.
I totally agree that those things can happen, and luckily our CEO is not only one of us, but he's somebody who has a vision and has done things that we can see. The main thing is the motivation, because a lot of people are still skeptical with everything that is going on, but putting joining little pieces together, we can come out with that. So because he's here, he's one of us, and the 9 Bash as we are, we've always supported our people wherever they are. So he being at the helm of Legda now, I think that the 9 Bash will mobilize and then overhand him, and that can take us places.
Yes, okay. I think, I appreciate. I think yes, that's a good start. That's a good point. Now, the president, the ball is in your court. I think now the conversation is, what role can we? It's no longer the General Grammar School. What role can we now play in twofold? A, to bring the entire association together. 2, so that they should become the main pilot in chairing some of these projects in the BLM, like school reopening, like maybe any other project, the Paradise vision. What role do you think the 9 Bash can play?
Yeah, thank you, Ernest, for that opportunity. I think the 9 Batch, when they talk of GBHS one time, asked student, the 9 Batch has been a partner and a champion of education in the BLM, as I was saying, because presently what we are doing is promoting education, and grammar school, which is of now not operating, it is all our wish that grammar school GBHS operate. As a group that has been leading, we have to partner definitely with other bodies, inclusive, to make sure that we reinforce development and get grammar school back to where it was. It's not just going to be an easy task, but with conviction and hope, we can make it. The first thing to do is to be very inclusive by all grammar school, grammar school alumni.
Yes, all the entire grammar school alumni.
To bring them all together. There has been a call to do that, but unfortunately it's not effective. There's been a call to create councils of representatives of all batches.
Yes, Mr. President.
Unfortunately, that has not happened.
Yes,
but we think.
We have been following that story even when Dr. Emo was the president, then hand over to the other person. But now, recently, I think in December, it should be the 2nd or the 4th batch, they'll be organizing their convention at Sharon Hotel in Boya. Because I'm privileged to have some of that information. But now, I think what we are trying to say is, they will have concrete project that will earmark and say, okay, everybody should come on board and let's follow this project. And rather than maybe, because when we say create a council, it sounds a little bit political, it sounds a little bit theoretical, that people want to come and see before you need to form structure. But you, as the 9 Bash, if you earmark a project, say $1 million project, that even your organization alone cannot support, but you know that you may start this project, say in a year, Then you pull this uncle and say, look, this is a project we have started. You people should come on board. Then you begin to market it, begin to sell it.
Let me jump in here a little bit. Going as far as even identifying going to a project might be going a little too far. Let's go back to where the CEO said. In the life for GBSS for them, just like in the family, you don't have to be the first child to have the ability to pull the family together. There is always that child in the family that can pull people together. In grammar school, the 89 batch has proven to be that child, you know. And so, at times, if you have to succeed, you start by bringing people together before you go into project. Otherwise, people might look at that as your project. So we have proven to be the batch that has the ability to pull together other batches. And so I feel like the best conversation for us to have is like, now that you are a very successful batch, what are we doing as a batch, as an executive, to reach out to the other branches that are existing, and even those that are not existing, to see how we create individual strong batches that can all sit on the table and craft a project that everybody will feel being part of it, you know. And we have a lot. What makes us stand out is not even because we're doing something so wonderful that the other batches are not doing. What makes us stand out is our ability to project what we are doing for the world to see, using our media, you know.
And
so,
yes, no, sorry, not cutting you. And that brings us back to the original question that I presented. What would be the role now of grammar school in the vision of Lebialem Paradise 2050? Which therefore means that if among the vision which Lega has presented, then if we go there and say, okay, this is one of the vision, then we can now say, okay, we come together as grammar school. What would be our role in fostering development in the BLM? So I think this is where the conversation can yeah.
The thing,
Yes, Uncle Nick wants to say something. Yeah, he's an uncle over here. Take the camera closer to him. So that he'll be able to capture.
If I were to go back and go to school, I will go back to grammar school, and I would like to be in the 9th batch. So this is important. I think, Dr. Kumba, the point you are actually making is for us to see how grammar school can pick up. The biggest challenge that I think we have right now is having the students who are able to go there. And I think we can copy from a success story that we already have on the ground. Because our ability to recruit students has to be fundamental. If 9 batch has the biggest project going on and there are no people to benefit from that project, then that project is going to fail. I think the biggest task we have is to see how we can get candidates who would start from 1, from 2, and from 3, even from 4 if there are candidates. And how do you do that? You go back to the other success story that we've had, the case of the school going on in the Folklorist Center, in the Mariapolis Center. There were scholarships given for people to come in and use the money to buy their school supplies. That is going to help a lot of parents who cannot make it. So we attract them with those kinds of scholarships. We have to find people on the ground who are going to recruit those students. And the role of the 9th batch, for instance, can be one where they pool resources together to see how they can give those scholarships. I know government schools typically don't pay fees, yes, but we need money for school supplies. We need money to renovate a few places where students can live and go to school, because the infrastructure is all broken down. You know, there are very few houses in Menji which students can live in. If we could find a place and renovate for students to come and live in there, that would serve as a first step dormitory. I think that would be good. But the biggest thing that I see as a challenge is recruiting potential students. And I think you guys can focus a lot on that. Once we have 50 students, maybe 60 students, 100 students, then that is the beginning of GBHS for them. That is the reawakening.
Yeah, because John Council telling us, I think that was 2 years ago, to go back to the drawing board, to the springboard,
To the fundamental.
to the fundamental. He mentioned 2 institutions. He mentioned Male Head of Africa. He mentioned St. Augustine College. Now, and grammar school is also one of those institutions. And I think you have listened to Monkonik spoke about this education, because education will remain fundamental. We were yesterday celebrating me and my age because of academic, and the BLM grammar school is what prepared that foundation for me. So we cannot let our own thing just slide away. It has come to a point where I think we need to speak up and be proactive. What do you suggest based on what Uncle Nick just articulated?
Okay, I think let me say something here. That the point is not actually like getting how to get students into the school. The point is actually like how to set an atmosphere that would encourage people to come and start. And that involves a lot of undertaking. And that embodies us on how we can send that message outside. The message of fear. Like I said before, the 9 batch, as you see, the 9 batch, we are well structured. We have promoted education. We have a structure which, if the setup is okay, we will go and grammar school will be rebuilt in less than no time. And we had that in mind. We've been discussing about it. That's why you see the 9 batch is extending education at all levels in the entire Lebialem. Some people will ask, why not in grammar school? Like I said, why not in grammar school? It's a question that most of us will be asking ourselves. But that question is all about what we know in the environment as unsafe.
Yeah, that's true.
But
because
it is high time that, like you said before, it is high time we break through.
yeah, because you come to think of it, right? Yeah, we supply most of this directly to elementary school or primary school, and most of those kids might say class 3, class 4. It therefore means that in the next 2 years they will be graduating from class 6 to get into secondary school or to get into some technical vocational school. Then which school would they go to? I think that would be now, that is where you have to begin to see that, hey, we started the Kulu champion community school in most of the area where other funnel now copy. So in the next generation, I think you have created, we are a student of Siloam, because you were able to just transform those students now when they were leaving class 6 to give them an opportunity now to attend secondary school. Because if we support this elementary, then when they get to class 6, they go to secondary school and there's no school, then it becomes a problem. Okay, now let's switch gear a little bit. Now let's talk again on education. What kind of education that do we think that we can begin to implement to Lebialem youth today, so that they can rebuild that community? I'm talking for an example. When I live here, my kid goes to school. It's just about a mile from here. Elementary school, middle school is here, another mile away. High school is 2 miles away. Marshall University is a mile away. Therefore, means that a child will live here, go to school, train to be a medical doctor, train to be an engineer, train to be a pharmacist here at Marshall, and will come out and there's a hospital here. There's a steel factory just behind here where you train children in the community, they grow up and they work in the community. We can also do that in the BLM. And I think Professor Kemji, who is an expert in education, presented a very eloquent presentation about technical education. That the Western world is using, they have STEM education because they are trying to build robot now. But let's start on the level of, say, basic technical education, that our infrastructure, especially the building that has collapsed, that it will train students in technical school, they should be able to begin to rebuild our community. The solar panel that Lokuru, that are not so whether they have championed in the land. Other firms are doing that. They will need repairs sometimes, but they will need a technical student. The road infrastructure will need a technical student. I want us now to think about the kind of education that we want to begin to give our students back now to reflect what the BLM will look like.
Yeah, so let me...
Well, let's make a point. We were talking about grammar school. How do we get grammar school back? Or how do we use the influence of Gaza 8990, where we are as the leader, in making sure that our grammar school does not stay the same way it is? We haven't even finished.
Let me I think I would give some information because we work, I've been working on the grammar school thing. So I think, as Uncle Nick said, it's important that we should think about the ability to have students to convince parents to want to send their kids to the school, because we have to be honest. The first thing is security. That's what people are concerned about. Because we approach these ideas and vision and you're not realistic, then you're not going to get it right. So the first challenge is security. The second issue, and that security is not just for parents, it's also for teachers. Remember, this is a government school. So, and we understand what that means. To be able to convince teachers, government teachers, to go down and teach.
That's why I was saying that sometimes we report on the media, right? Some of the discussion. Now we can now go back in concave and put strategic plan. So let's say these are the idea that we are marketing in the media. That's some of the things that we cannot.
Yeah, let's talk about Gaza.
Let's give the president.
No, I just want to drive a point from what Terence said. We all know that grammar school right now is not operating because of security.
Right, it's public knowledge.
And that is it.
Yeah.
It's not about that we, GBH's Fontem ex-students cannot rebuild that institution or get it back. We are all set, we have structures that if the security is all set and done, that institution is going to be restarted. But that lies solely on us, ex-students of grammar school, and the BLM people entirely, on how we can change our paradigm into this security aspect, knowing very well the value of education in the BLM. If we know that it's high time we get our people to go back to school, give them that opportunity to be educated in grammar school, then we change our thinking. Because right now the security aspect is all about our thoughts related to that. On the 9 batch is all ready, but it's a collective effort. The way we think and approach that security aspect.
So I think, as I said, there is some work that is being done in terms of reopening the school. So, for example, we in Ikudo, it's a kind of a project, but that, as I said, there are so many partners that need to be involved in this initiative. It's,
But do you want to be saying this to the media right now? This is where this is.
I manage this way, so I know what to go ahead. No, so the point I'm making is that, and let me look at strategy now. So I think that is what we're talking about, right? Gaza is 990. can lead the process trying to bring, you know, excellence together. But as I always say, we have to be careful because doing something with inclusivity, it doesn't mean that you don't have people who would pivot behind the scenes. People need to understand it because it's always this thing to say, oh, everybody. But you need to have some people behind the scenes who work this thing out and then encourage everybody to see a reason why to come and join. Because people don't just come to join something for the sake of joining. There must be a vision, there must be a goal, there must be something that excites people to come, right?
Dear viewers of Gaza Media and dear Lebialem people, this was just an informal setting. It was a post-graduation party, breakfast at my residence, and I just took the opportunity to talk to folks so that folks could give a little bit of contribution on what we can actually do to foster development in Lebialem. As many of you are already aware, Gaza Media is there for the development of less privileged communities, including the Lebialem. And so when this kind of opportunity arises, we always want to take a little bit of time to make folks give their opinion or share their thought on what they think. You listening to us from home, what is your own opinion? But you must stay tuned as this conversation will continue to go on. Remember, Saturday, the 1st of June 2024 is the day for LEGDA convention, which is going to take place in Maryland. Stay tuned as we bring you more update. I'm Ernest Kumba.